All right, everybody, this is Kim Tucker here with Mid-America Association of Real Estate Investors, and I want to thank you for joining us on the webinar tonight. Joining us again for our third installment of our webinar series is Mike Butler. He is going to be discussing tonight the best ever tool for landlords, and it's free. But I want to give you a quick 2-second preview of what we got coming up next week after the holiday weekend. On Tuesday, we have Mike coming in for the meeting, 10 proven keys to consistently get paid over 100% of your rents every month. That's going to give you more income and more freedom with less work and less time. And I have a feeling we are going to be packed. So be sure to arrive early so you can get the best seats. Remember, if you pre-register members, it's free. First time guests, if you pre-register, it's free. Otherwise, it is $25 at the door or $15 online. And we will start at 6 o'clock. And then on Saturday, we are going to have a full immersion training on this landlording on autopilot. We're going to learn how to fill our vacants before they move out so that we have a tenant ready to move in as soon as the previous tenant walks out the door. And Mike is also going to share with us how to screen our tenants in 15 minutes or less. That is Saturday, September 12th, Holiday Inn at 8787 Rita Road. Doors will open at 8:30. And we will probably start right at 9 and run till 5. And we have a 2-for-1 special running right now for members at $49.99. So if you're a member, you can bring a family member or a business partner as your guest. And if you're not a member, it's $59 for one person and $79 for two. You never know, we might have some specials at the meeting. Sometimes we do. But who is Mike Butler? Let's get started here. Well, I have some of the notes that Mike shared with me about himself, and I'll give you a couple of them. He wrote the book Landlording on Autopilot, which was the #1 bestseller on Amazon Business Books, and he has been featured in Money Magazine. It was featured in their article, Can Real Estate Make You Rich? His unique autopilot system gets 100% of his rents every month, and he has a boatload of investors that have taken his training classes, and they're doing the same thing. But I had some other information I found I wanted to share. One of the reasons why Mike is here. National RIA, which I am a part of, has an event every summer. And we have a session that's called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And this is where we kick all the speakers out of the room and we talk about them. So we talk about who's a good speaker, who's a bad speaker. And I have always gotten excellent feedback on Mike for 2 things. One, he is a guru, meaning he does what he teaches. And 2, all of the people that have had him speak at their RIA, all of their members have given them great feedback on his teaching style, and the information. So that was my #1 reason for wanting to come in, is because all the other RIAs that have had him have really, really enjoyed and learned from him. So I am going to say, Mike, I am really glad you could be on the call and that you can come to Kansas City next week.
The microphone, and it's working.
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. It must have had a short in it for a second.
Okay. All right, guys. We're going to go through this pretty fast. I hope you got an ink pen and a crayon handy and a good notebook, okay? Because we're going to go over some things, and this is going to be the best tool and resources, not only for landlords, but for real estate investors across the world. And these are some great things. Maybe you've seen some of them. Maybe you haven't. But the other thing is, we're always here to learn, so I want to learn from you too. And if you have something that you'd like to add to this list when we get done, we're going to have Q&A at the end of it, and then it'll be your turn. So here we go. What I've got here is my cell phone. And believe it or not, guys, your best tool and resources for real estate investors is this puppy right here, okay? Did you know that this cell phone that we carry today has way more computing power than the Apollo spaceship did when they put the folks on the moon there? And so this thing is just incredible about how much computing power that we have. I mean, who'd have thunk this, that everything that we can do with our cell phone today, just, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years ago, it didn't exist. It didn't exist. So 20 years ago, 1995 maybe, you know, we barely heard of the email and internet. I was on the police department then. I did not know the difference between a website and an email address. So that's how far we've come. And now you got 12-year-old, 14-year-olds that can just run by its old timers just as faster than we can't keep up with them. They're so daggone fast. So anyway, let's jump into it. So what I'm going to do is these are some cell phone apps, and I know the first one that I'm going to share with you, it is available on both the iPhone and on the Droid phone, okay? And I've got a Samsung, and here's what I'd like for you to do, okay? Most of us as investors, we have a tendency to be real cheap, okay? And so we like to think, well, we spit pennies out our butt when we walk. Well, I know some that got sparks that fly out their butt, they're so tight. But this thing right here, guys, I want you to think of it as a tool, as a resource, and you've got all this stuff available at your fingertips. You can do deals. You can do so much, everything right here, instead of carrying a man purse or a briefcase like they did old school. I used to carry a man purse, and that was my Bible, and I'm still in the paper mindset, but I'm doing my darndest to try to get over here. So anyway, the way I've got my home page set up on my cell phone is I got my calendar. So now I got that in my face, what's coming up today, later today, tomorrow, things like that. It looks like I got 52 messages that you can see. But we're going to start off with the first one here, and I'm going to see if I can go over and find it. And it's this little green one right up here in the upper right-hand corner. Now, if you travel a lot, you do cruises, what have you, this thing here, it's called WhatsApp. And when my wife, Beth, when she went to London and Paris and Germany or wherever it was just a month or two ago, she found this cell phone app that is on both the iPhone and on the Droid phone. And with this thing here, remember, it's like Skype on steroids. So instead of just making an appointment, oh, okay, well, next time I'll talk to you will be 8 o'clock tonight. Well, you can use this thing here on your cell phone, and it'll call the other phone just like using a regular phone. But it's that Skype thing, so it's free, and it was pretty slick. So, you know, I don't think you need it locally as far as just calling folks around the United States, but if you do any traveling and things like that, that could be a backup. So even if the phone doesn't work, I don't know. Just a thought. So that's a good one there. Now, next up, I'm going to pull it. I got to turn around at my desk here, and I'm going to give you one of these puppies. I know you probably can't hear me as well, but man, oh man. Okay, if you haven't seen one of these, you better get you one. They're free. Oops, I put it on top of that, so that's not good. See that thing there, guys? I'm going to put it over here. Look at there. That is called the Square, and it will send you these things for free. And what this thing is, it is a card reader. It is a credit card, debit card reader kind of thing. If you'll see right there, you can see where you can just swipe through it. And so imagine this. This turns your cell phone into a cash register, ka-ching, ka-ching. So watch this. So we take this right here, we plug that into the top, and now I have just turned my cell phone into a cash register. So just like you would at any store, this and that, take your credit card, swipe it through here. And so I'm thinking, okay, so what in the world could you use this for? Okay, we're not dumb, but how many times are you out there, you're showing a property, showing a rental, and you got your rental application fee, and somebody says, oh, I don't have any cash. Well, that's fine. Give me that card you got there. We'll swipe this puppy right now, and this goes right into your bank account. And, you know, it's not held up for a long time or anything like that. That's pretty cool. It's called Square. And what's interesting with this thing, guys, is that not only does Square have this device, but PayPal has one that you can use. It's free. All right, so how much are they going to charge you to use it? I'm going to say like 2.5% or 2.75%. And I tell you what, I'll gladly give up 2.75% if I can capture an application fee or capture something right there on the spot using this thing. So you got PayPal has one. This one happens to be called Square. The other one is QuickBooks. They've got a little gadget. Let me see if I got one of those. I think I got it here. And no, I might have it at home. But anyway, QuickBooks, they've got a little round one that sits across the top here, and you still plug it into that same jack. And I've got several friends that one owns a recording studio. That is his cash register. So he's got it. It's free from QuickBooks, and he plugs that thing in there. What it does is when he swipes that card and enters the dollar amount, it pops it into both his bank account and into his QuickBooks. So several of these things are out there. There's probably 3 or 4 more companies that have already jumped onto this, but this was the first one that jumped onto the scene. It's called Square, and when you sign up for them, you can have them. They'll send you this for free, okay? And it's cheaper, okay? When you put the credit card in there and swipe it, you get a cheaper rate than if you manually punch it in, because it's safer, it's less risky. I think they charge as much as 4% if you want to manually punch it in and not have that little card reader. Okay, so that was a good one. Another one that I like, and I got to get my pointer out here. This one right here, that's called Google Keep. Now, there's going to be a lot of folks that's going to argue all over the place about all the different things here, but this is a great way to organize things, thoughts, projects, pending deals, maybe tenants, whatever, and so you can put photos in there. You can put all kinds of things in this Google Keep. Now, this also syncs on your desktop, okay, if you've got a PC. So that's a Google. I don't know if they have that for iPhones or not. But anyway, this thing syncs. I can access it on my desktop in my real estate office, at home on my desktop, on my laptops, anywhere, even on my cell phone, and all that information is there. How it happens, I don't know. But now here's the competition for that. You're going to see folks that say Evernote, okay? And, you know, this stuff is, I cannot figure out how to do Evernote, and I don't want to learn it. The learning curve on it is just brutal on my part. I've just got so much stuff in my head. But let me see if I've got Evernote on the front. No, I don't have it on here. Okay. So, but you can get all this stuff, all these apps I'm sharing with you. You can go right here to the Google Play Store. But what's kind of cool, if you got your desktop set up right, you just go there, find what you want, boom, and it puts it on there. Now, let me caution you with some things about your cell phone and the apps. A lot of people use Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that on their cell phone, and if people send you invitations to play games and Cracker Barrel or whatever else it is, you know, what is it?
Candy Crush.
Candy Crush, there you go, Bird Bath and Beyond and all that stuff. Those things eat up a tremendous amount of memory and space and stuff on your phone. So be careful. Think of this as a business tool and not so much a toy. iPhone, I think, is a toy, and then you're going to be cool and do this and that. But anyway, so we got Google Keep. The competition, the same thing with Google Keep, does the same thing basically, is Evernote. Then Microsoft makes another thing called OneNote, and I've not learned how to use that either. But this Google Keep is just brain dead simple. I love that thing. Okay, and so like if you're going to a meeting, you're going to take notes. I pull this thing out here, and it's got a little ink pen. Well, it's not an ink pen. They call it, so what do they call it again?
Stylus.
A stylus. But you got to be careful. If you're a big guy like me, this thing's got buttons on the side of it. Okay, and so if you punch one of them buttons on the side of it, I know it starts doing something else, and I really ain't got that part figured out. So I just try to avoid touching that button on the side. But yeah, you can take notes in meetings. You can talk into this thing. You can talk into it and send text messages and send your emails. It's just phenomenal. So if you're old school and you say, I don't need a phone to do all that, I just want a phone that got big fat buttons on it, and I can do that, and all I need to do is call and answer phone calls and make some phone calls. Today's world, this is a computer. Tablets are like this today, okay? Our guys out in the field, they use this cell phone to do work orders, and that's how they're assigned to them, and it all goes out digitally now, talking about going paperless. Now let's go to another one. Now like this one, Kim, write this one down. It's called Team Viewer, okay? Team Viewer, right there.
I've used that. Nice.
Okay, and that thing is just incredible. So if you have heard of, say, Log Me In or My PC and things like this, where they're going to charge you a fee to access different computers that you own in different places, this Team Viewer, that thing is a cat daddy. You talk about lightning fast. You can transfer files. You can do all kinds of things in here, and it's all free. So, folks, those of you who are using QuickBooks, for example, QuickBooks will do their darndest to try to sell you QuickBooks Online, and they'll tell you it's safe, it's up in the cloud, and all this and that floating around. Well, you know what? If you pay for that service, okay, and I'm a big QuickBooks fan, as you know. If you pay for that service, guess what you get to access? Take a wild guess, Kim.
I have no idea, and I paid for it for a while. Everything.
The only thing you get to access is QuickBooks. Okay?
That doesn't do you much good.
No, but, I mean, that's okay, but that's the only thing that you can access. When you use this Team Viewer, and I'm about 90% sure I've got this on my phone. I know I do, but I might have to go over here.
QuickBooks on a different computer with it.
No, it's a lot more than that. And here's what I'm sorry I'm looking down, but looking down here to show you these things in the real world instead of just telling you about them and what they look like. Here it is right here, down this corner. See this thing right here? It says Team Viewer. Okay, what Team Viewer allows you to do, Kim, you got to set it up and install it on each computer, each desktop, each laptop, each cell phone, each tablet, whatever you want, home, office, at the lake, or whatever. Okay? But now, for example, my office manager lived in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay? And she used Team Viewer on her desktop down in Atlanta to dial in or to access the computer up here in the front where her computer's sitting on the desk. And so the phone calls were routed to her down in Atlanta, but she's actually working on a computer in my real estate office here in Louisville, Kentucky. There's no charge for that. Isn't that? But she can access everything on there, not just QuickBooks, everything. Everything on there. So that is powerful. Check that out. Put it on. Get this. I can actually be on my cell phone, okay, log into my computer that I'm on right here with you now in my real estate office, and I can enter a check and print the check because I have a dedicated little video $49 Samsung printers loaded with checks. And so I can print it right there, and I'm the only one who has the authorized signature doodad on there because I control my permissions. And so I can be anywhere that has internet access, and I can actually do checks on paydays and things like that. That's a pretty powerful little gizmo, little app there. It works on both, as far as I know, both iPhones. I know I use it on my Mac. So I've got a $2,000 MacBook Pro Air solid state something or another, and it's a $2,000 paperweight. But what I do with it is I use the Team Viewer to access my real estate computer here in my office or the one at home. Okay, so another one you probably heard of is Dropbox, and that's basically like your files in the sky. There's other competition that goes with Dropbox. You've got Evernote. You've got Microsoft has its own little cloud and a thing. Mac and Apple users, they have something that's up there, but it's basically like a flash drive in the sky, and so you can access it from any computer. This other one, uvu.com, think of Hollywood Squares. So on Skype, you're doing one-on-one, just like this, whereas with Uvu, you can make it like Hollywood Squares, so you can have 9, 10, or 12 people on at the same time. Not so much for business is that good, but think of it for family. You want to have a little family powwow or reunion on there. That's pretty good, but that's called uvu.com. And then, okay, one of the things I used to tell folks when you had your real estate investors buying toolbox or your buying kit that you'd put together, I tell them to always put a flashlight in there. Well, guess what? They make a flashlight on here now that uses an LED diode, which uses very, very little power. And this puppy's bright, so if you want to shine your light in back there in an attic or in a crawl space or behind a furnace or a water heater or under cabinets or the electric's out of a house that you're looking at or what have you, that flashlight thing is really good, and it helps you take pictures too. So you've got a flashlight on. It's called Super Bright Flashlight, and there's some that aren't near as good. And let me see. I'll see if I can find that thing. So we got, there it is right here. This one right here. That's the Super Bright Flashlight. That's the Uvu I was telling you about. And you can get police scanners and stuff like that, but I like Pandora would do that as well. All right. Ask Paul Gill about Ice Black Box. Now this thing here, I don't use it, but I have it on my phone. And Paul Gill, a gold member from Lexington, he loves it for his daughters. They're in college, And so if you think, okay, you're going into a place that it might be a little bit spooky, or maybe you're going by yourself, you can actually click on this ice black box thing and kind of like hold your finger on the button. What it does is it captures your location, and it's like a panic button. So if you hit the panic button, it calls the police, and it also texts whoever you want it to text, dad or wife or hubby or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. And that thing's kind of neat. I've never actually used it. I've seen it in action, and that's pretty cool. But anybody that's a real estate agent, real estate investors, we want to think, especially the ladies out there, you've got to have something safe. I mean, this world's just getting crazier by the hour. And so that's a good way to, that's a good tool to have for protection, I guess, okay? Let's see, ask Paul Gill about that. The barcode scanner. We've got this on here, and so when you hear the barcode scanner, you have a tendency to think, well, going to the grocery store and shopping, but here it is down here. But what's kind of cool about this is you can use it on anything that has a barcode. And if you check the right little buttons on it, let's say you're pricing bathtubs or a faucet, you can scan that thing with your little cell phone here, and it'll give you prices, the cheapest, lowest price product anywhere in your region. Now, I don't get to use it as much as I'd like to, but that's pretty cool. There's also, it will do QR codes, those little square-looking fuzzy things about the size of a postage stamp. You can do all kinds with those things there. Imagine putting it on your yard sign or putting a flyer and putting it in the window. Here, scan this puppy here. They can get a voice greeting. You can take them to your online rental application. You can give them a description about it. Yes, it's 123 Main Street, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, brick ranch with a basement. It rents for $14,315 a month. The security deposit is $1, and tell them, direct them where to go or what to call or something like that. So barcode, Home Depot Pro. There's that app right here. So Home Depot, Lowe's, Danny uses this where he can actually go in there and put material lists together. But Pro Desk pulls it all and has it waiting for them back there at the Pro Desk, and then our contractor will swing by the Home Depot Pro Desk and pick it up. And Danny's the only one that's authorized to buy it. Danny and Jason. Nobody else can go in there and buy them on our account except Beth and me. Okay? Now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty here, okay? Let's talk about some real tools for the investor. I got to hit this button here and go back to it. See this one here? This is called, as you can see, Financial Calculator. This is phenomenal. Now, those of us that got a little bit of gray hair, or we go back a little bit in our real estate careers or investing careers, you may have heard of something called an HP 12C financial calculator. And it was about the size of this, but it was turned the other way, and it had about 4,000 buttons on it. And it was a bear to try to figure out and get those. In fact, you had to take a class on how to use the thing. But watch this, guys. So I'm going to touch on this financial calculator. Now, how many times do you need to figure out, or you would like to know what your payment's going to be on this, or payment's going to be on that? Well, you got a currency, no, not the currency converter, ding that, I punched the wrong one, loan calculator. So you can simply plunge in how much you're going to borrow, the interest rate, plug this in, that in, and boom, and it'll cipher it up for you. It's real fast, real easy. And the other one, okay, so loan calculator, that's pretty cool. Now this one up here is the one that you'll like for the advanced investors. Have you ever heard people talking about buying discounted notes and mortgages? Mm-hmm. Well, this is what they use. Okay, and this is the HP 12C part. So you don't know what today's value is because that's what you're going to offer them for their note. Okay, but let's say, I think you punch in what the payment is. So let's say they're getting minus $514. Let's start off this way. I'm going to go back here. We can watch this one go. Okay, so let's say we're going to borrow $80,000. Okay, interest rate is 5%, and loan term is 30. Okay, 30 years, and no extra payment, and then calculate. Okay, so here's what it says: our monthly payment. I'm going to write this down. Is $429.46. Okay, and that would be for a face value 80,000 today's, okay? Let's go back over here, time value. Then we're going to put, I'm going to do this to get that right number in there. And future value 0. Interest rate, what did I say, 5? I said 5, I think. 5.0. And then period is 360 months. And so we're going to solve for payment. So there's the 429.46. See that in there? Okay. So let's say that Kim has seller financed something to another investor, and it's a 80. I know, Kim, you use this all the time with what you do. And so anyway, Kim's holding a note. It's got $80,000 today, and there's 360 payments left on it. Okay?
All right.
Let's do this. Let's go here. I'm going to do this because this will be real. Let's say that you've gone 10 months to, let's see, 24 months, 360. Let's say there's, help me do this, 360 minus 24.
360 minus 24. That's 336.
Okay, so there's 336 monthly payments left. You see that, guys? So now, I don't want 5% on this. I want to do 22%. Is what I want on my rate of return. Imagine like your Roth IRA buying this thing. So I want 22%, future value 0, 336 payments left. Now watch this. How much will I give Kim for an $80,000 note so that I'll make 22% on it? Watch this. $23,372.77.
I won't sell that. Sorry.
What?
I won't sell that. Sorry.
You won't sell that?
Nah.
And what's really cool is if they pay off early, that this return rate goes through the roof. Okay, so because guess how much those people still owe? $80,000.
Yeah.
You see, so that's pretty cool. So this is a powerful, powerful tool that you ought to learn how to use, get familiar with it, so that when one of these deals pops up, you can jump on it and you know what to do. But I love that thing. They got a whole bunch of goofy stuff on here. Like the one I think is really idiotic is the tip calculator. Oh, they got the tip calculator on the same page with an HP 12C. Okay, so that financial calculator, I highly recommend get that thing, put it on your phone, and it works, okay? And it does. Next one is Zedge. Okay, I like this one. And what's cool about this, let's see where it's at. Is it on here? Hold on. I'm doing this so I can show you what these things look like. So it's probably down in here somewhere. Bear with me. Okay. If you see it, let me know, Kim. It's called ZEDGE. I still don't see it.
It's hiding.
Is it Zedge? Where is it? Well, I know I got it on here because I used the daggone thing. There it is, right here. See the big D?
Okay.
How they get a D out of Z, I don't know. But here's what this is kind of cool. Okay, like it allows you to use different ringtones for different things on your phone. For example, if you're like Beth has her own ringtone, so I don't have to look at my phone to see who's calling. I can go, oh, that ringtone's there. I've got another one for my daughters that says, it's got a happy dance kind of tune to it, but it says, your daughter's calling, and it's a happy, wonderful sound. But imagine if you had, let's say, tenants. Wouldn't you like to know that if it's a tenant's calling, you can actually do a little voice recording yourself and say, this is a tenant calling, this is a tenant calling, okay? And so you could assign that if you happen to have your tenants in your phone, depending on the size of your operation. Remember, this thing is a walking, talking computer. Okay, family members, other folks, your staff or maintenance guys, you might want to do that. Maybe your attorney. And I'm not saying assign everybody their own ringtone, but the ones that you want to separate, okay, you can. So that's pretty cool. And like my text messages, I still have trouble. If you saw, I had 52 text messages, so I check those generally once every evening. And people go, I texted you earlier. I said, well, And this thing even says, you got a text message, but I still have a hard time with it. Get so many of them. Now, this one here, this next one, you're going to love it. And this is a must. Up there with that financial calculator that I just shared with you, I want you to get this one. It's called ACR. Okay, ACR, and it's an all-call recording. So what it does, the easiest way for me to show you this is let's make a phone call, and we're going to go in here, and we're going to call old Beth, and we're going to call her, and here's what happens. So she's up front there. She's still working this evening in the office, too. So here we go. Okay. There she goes. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Can you hear me? You can hear me now? Okay. Now watch what happens when I hang up. This is just cool. See that? It says, do you want to keep this recording? Yes or no. Okay. And not only that, but I can add a note to it. So I can add a note to this and put the Beth's coaching session with Mike, one-on-one coaching. And so anytime I do coaching sessions with investors or mentoring or anything like that, well then what I found out, this is so much easier than trying to remember to hit the record button when you get started, okay? And so isn't that kind of cool? So imagine a phone call from a tenant that blisters your butt and cusses you out or whatever, or anybody that does that. So if you want to keep any recording, phone calls with attorneys, whatever, okay, you can do that. And what's cool is you don't have to save every one. So if I don't want to save this, I just hit no. And so bingo, we go right back. Isn't that cool? What do you think of that, Kim?
That's pretty cool. I need that.
Yeah, everybody can use that one. Okay. Postcard on the run. Now, what this one is, I'm pretty sure I got it on here. And let me find it. I gotta look. Here it is, right here. This one here. It's called Postcard on the Run. And what this allows you to do is onesie-twosie style. Let's say you're driving down the street and you see an abandoned house, or you see one that's got the grass growed up, or it just looks like nobody's living in it. Well, you can take a picture of that, put some text on it, get on here, go to your local county records that they have online, see who the owner is with their address, and then touch that, and for 50 cents or something like that, you can send them a postcard with a picture of that ugly house or whatever it is and say, hey, Ralph, I can make this go away for you. Or did you know your house in Louisville looked like this? Okay? So that's kind of different. What's all the 42 things up here on the Facebook thing mean, Kim?
You probably have 42 Facebook notifications. So either
Really?
42 notifications of something. So friend requests, messages. I probably tagged you 42 times today.
Email keeps me busy. I don't mess with that kind of stuff. All right. So, we transfer. Now, this you're going to like, too. Gosh, these are good ones here, guys. How many times have we... Oh, I got to go back to the... There it is, right here. See, that thing's not much of an icon for it, but it's called WeTransfer. And if you go to WeTransfer.com, you can use it free, up to 2 million gazillion pixels or something. But how many times have you tried to send something in an email and they go, whoop, the file's too big? You ever had that happen?
Yes.
So then you got to think, oh gosh, let's see, what am I going to use now? Dropbox, or am I going to try to use Google Drive, or try to use something else? Well, what's really cool with WeTransfer, you just click on that and you upload your file into WeTransfer, tell them who you want to send it to, put a message in there, and bingo. So you can send videos and stuff. So right from your phone as well. So WeTransfer is a great little app that allows you to send large files for free. So we like that one. Now, this one I got from Ed the Cuban guy here. This one here is called Flash Alerts. You see that? And what it does, if you set it up, is how many times have you turned your cell phone ringer off, whether you're in church or at a meeting or something like that, and you got your cell phone turned upside down. Well, what this does is it makes that flashlight thing, it makes it blank. And so that it's real bright, and it works, okay? So you can see you got a phone call coming in, but the phone's not ringing. So that's pretty cool. Now, and I love this one over here. Okay, I'm gonna make a guinea pig out of you, Kim, okay?
Okay.
See this one here? Can you read what that says?
Shush.
Shush. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay, watch this. Okay. How many times are you like, oh, I'm going to a meeting, whatever, let me talk to so-and-so, and I need to turn my ringer off for whatever reason, okay? So I'm going to turn my ringer off. Watch what happens. Bingo. Turn the ringer on in 3.5 hours, turn the ringer on in 4.5 hours, turn it back on in 1 hour, 30 minutes. You get to pick and set this to turn on automatically so you don't forget. I tell you, until I had this and that flashlight thing bleeping, whatever, many times I forgot to turn my ringer back on, and now see that I missed 7, 8, 10, 12, 14 phone calls. And so this, you can set it to turn back. It'll turn itself back on after 30 minutes with what I just did there. Isn't that neat?
Cool.
You like that one?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now here's the one that everybody's going to get excited about, okay? Because I did when I found this puppy, and I just got to find it on here first. And let me go over to all of these things. And where is it at? There it is right here. Okay? It's a little orange square with that looking thing, and it says Genius Scan. Okay, what this does is it takes the camera functionality on your cell phone, and it allows you to take anything and take a picture of it. It allows you to pretend like you're taking a picture of it, and you can save it as a PDF and send it around. So let's say, for example, of course, we all know, like, if you're showing a house, a vacant rental house, for example, and somebody's there and they're filling out a rental application, you know, you're going to take a picture of their valid photo ID, take a picture of them, and then you can actually scan their rental application that they have right there and email it to yourself. And what my guys use it for in the field, and this is awesome, when they're out there working on houses, doing repairs, doing tenant turnovers, rehabs, or whatever, they'll take their receipts and they'll use Genius Scan. They'll scan it as a PDF and then email it to me. And then I get to see it and bless it and see what they're buying and not buying and all that. And that one, I don't use it every day, but my guys in the field do. They use it every day, several times a day, and that is awesome. Okay? Let me see. Genius Scan. Okay, of course you heard about Google Drive, and you can do all that on here. Let me just browse quickly and see if I see anything else on here that catches my eye. And anything that you want to add? Google Maps. Oh, Google Maps. If you get on the Google Maps thing, you know, you can, folks, you can actually almost do everything from this phone here. You can drive down the street without driving down the street. Go to the Google Maps and do Street View, and as long as that little Google van is drove down that street, you can see that. You can stop right in front of the house. Pretty neat, pretty good stuff. So we got maps. S-Note, I use that. Well, I use Google Keep since I got that now. There's a goofy bunch of Samsung games. I don't care for that. Your local newspaper, got Next Issue, Pandora I use. I like to keep up with local news, so I've got that in there. That's like Netflix. Snap. What is Snap? Oh, that goes with another software program I have. American Express. Evernote. See, that's in there. Kindle. Register there, that is. Square. I don't know what next door is. This thing, if it's like if this then that, it's IFTT something or another. That can do all kinds of silly things that make your life easier if you want to get into it. But be careful, don't put too much in there to drive you bonkers. And then because it was doing this, I did something one time and it put like the same picture on Facebook like 6 times or 8 times. So I don't know about that. Sketch, I'm not sure. Facebook, you've heard of. There's that one guy.
Uber is very important.
What is it?
Uber. If you do any traveling at all, you need an Uber app.
Yeah, you got to do that. That is fantastic. I use it all. I won't use. I used to use private drivers simply because they were the same price as taxi cabs, but they didn't sling you around like you were a pinball in a pinball machine. Some of those guys make you sick. But these Ubers, they got nice rides. That's pretty cool. I don't know how to use that Instagram. Here's Office Mobile. That's free. My Fitness Pal, financial calculators, Keep. More banking stuff, portable hotspot. Oh, that's an alarm clock. I like that. Police scanner. I'm just looking to see if we got anything else there that jump up quick for you. And the notepad. I guess that's about it. Seems like Amazon stuff, cloud navigation, LinkedIn. So that's pretty cool. So with that, if you want to open it up, see if anybody has anything to add there, Kim. This is a great little tool.
Well, let's see if anybody has any apps they wanted to share. I think you've covered most of the ones I have, but if you have one you want to share, give me a raise of your hand. Let's see what else apps do I have that I like. I like the Evernote. I use it a lot. I have unlimited Dropbox. I use that all the time. I use my Kindle app a lot to find free books that I can download. Miles Track online to track my mileage. And let's see.
Uh-oh, now I can talk.
There we go.
Yeah.
What I like is with Dropbox, that you can set up the Dropbox app to automatically upload your photos. So if you go out and take pictures of a house, I come home, I hit the wireless, and it pulls all those pictures into my computer while I'm getting a Coke and getting settled in. Then when I go to my computer, the pictures are already loaded in for me. I don't have to download anything.
That's awesome. Those tools are free, aren't they?
Free? Well, I pay for my Dropbox, but it's free. I just have a terabyte of Dropbox, so I need more space.
Okay.
I use my Southwest app quite often.
Yeah.
And my Zillow app. I use that. Granted, you really can't trust their estimates, but usually you can find out more about the house on Zillow fairly easily, or find a house that's for sale in the area. So you could go drive by the other houses for sale in the area. So I use Zillow for that.
Okay.
It's a scanner to scan cards. Yeah. Cam card.
Oh, business
cards to scan business cards. I use that. That's very helpful. Let's see what else we have here.
I'll tell you this, guys. Remember that is September the 8th. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
September the 8th. Be there because you're going to get the 10 keys to consistently get paid over 100% of your rents every month. That's not a lie. I promise you, you get this training on September the 8th, and you'll go out of there saying, yes, I can do that. And in the Saturday workshop, we've got two different topics. One is how to fill your vacant unit, your vacant rental unit yesterday. Okay, that's what we want. We don't want to fill today. We want to fill yesterday. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and then how to screen residents in 15 minutes or less. How to screen a tenant in 15 minutes or less. And I want you to bring in your own recently submitted rental application. And we'll use that as a class project. And what I'd like for you to do is scratch out the people's name and their social security number so that that doesn't get displayed. But we'll use that as a class project, and I'll show you using our 6-point scoring matrix system how you can screen a resident in 15 minutes or less. It's real simple. It's real easy. And you know, most of our rental applications, we never disqualify an applicant, and most of them we don't even run a credit report on. So that can save you some money there. So that's good stuff. That's what you're going to learn on Saturday. And I assume that these are going to be both at the same place. How much is a Saturday class there? Saturday
class is, on the early bird pricing, it's $49 for members. And we have a 2-for-1 special. So if you register tonight or at the meeting, it's $49 for one person. And if you bring a spouse or a child or a business partner, you can bring them for free. And then our non-member price is $59 for one and $79 for two. So it would pay to become a member. There we go. I found you back. I have one more app, though, I wanted to share with you. Can I share a couple more apps? Andrew Cross shared IFTTT, which I think you already mentioned, if then that, and then Trello.
Right here.
And I'm not sure what Trello is. Let's see if Andrew will talk to us. Andrew, you're unmuted. Can you tell us about Trello?
So yeah, I use that a lot for doing lists and whatnot. So if you want to keep like a list of to-dos and whatnot, one of the nice things with Trello though is you can actually use IFTT.
Can you spell it?
Trello.
Trello.com?
Yep.
Probably. Okay, that's an app. All right, go ahead.
Yep. So you can use that with IFTTT, and if you have like a phone call or something, it'll act Trello. You can actually have the phone call, go out and log that you had a phone call, who the phone call was from, the number and whatnot. And you can put it right in your to-do list. It's pretty handy.
Okay. Now, both of these free? I know this one is.
Yep, they're both free.
And that's our favorite four-letter F word, isn't it, Master? Okay, that's good. Thank you, Andrew. Andrew, I'm going to check that one out myself.
All right.
Who else has one they want to share?
Pandora said she couldn't talk to us earlier because she doesn't have a mic. So that's why she shared the CAM card. And that I've used that CAM card to scan business cards, and also when I've needed to scan in like documents or something, I'll scan that in as well.
It's called CAM card?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's another one.
I think that's all of them. Yep, that's all we've got to share tonight. So it looks like we have got a good list. I have 22 apps written down. So
wow,
that's
that is good.
That's a lot. So
now remember, we got booby prizes and door prizes for you guys at both the monthly meeting and at the Saturday workshop. So I want to see your butts in the seat. We're going to learn some stuff. And just imagine, once again, here's my big question for you. You might hear a bunch of folks talking about, well, tenants and toilets, I've been a landlord, I don't like that. You know, you go in there and you buy a house, you fix it all up, put tenants in it, they tear it up, and you go in there and do it again. That's not a good program, okay? But what about this? What if you had 20 nice rental houses paid for? What would your life be like? Aha, even those ones that are bad-mouthing it, they'll say, my life would be pretty good at that. So we're going to show you how to do that, how to put it on autopilot. You've got to have systems, guys. And when you have systems, it's just remarkable how much better things go, more efficient, more smooth, more profit, more time for you to do what you want in life. And that's what I've kind of mastered here with that landlording on autopilot system. And I'm going to be coming to your town and teaching you guys this and showing you how you can do it too. Okay?
All right, great. I'm looking forward to seeing you next Tuesday.
Great. All right, guys. Good night out there.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Mike, for joining us tonight.
All right. Adios. Bye-bye.
All righty.